Welcome to the Advisory, the first and last advice show on the internet, where today, James, we're going to start off with some advice that I need, some self-advice, the rarely seen self-advice beast.
Oh no.
James, I went to the clothing store today.
Okay.
I took the rare trip to, well, let me lay the scene a little bit better. I went to a shopping center, which for you Americans, that's like a mall, like a big, the multi-story, and I hate shopping centers, right? It's, it's loud. There's other people. I hate other people. Everyone's busy. They're all doing shit. Like, you know how it be? Like, I hate shopping centers, but I said to myself, I need to acquire. I had two things I needed to purchase. I needed to go and needed to buy some kind of warm attire for my upper body, not a hoodie specifically, but something similar to a hoodie that I could wear during winter that wasn't, branded for my work where I work. That was thing one. Thing two was I needed to just buy some, I needed some like everyday wear t-shirts. I needed to buy, let's say 3 to 4 black t-shirts. Now I have been, oh, what we have sound? Okay. That kind of threw me off a little bit.
So I'm just putting some theme music to this quest, this side quest that you went on today.
This journey. So I go through the procedure of, I park my car. I find, do the whole. It's an expedition.
Oh, isn't it just? Yeah.
And you know that there's always someone fucking around in a car park, and I deal with that. And then eventually, and there's road works because of course there is. And so I pull into the fucking shopping center, I find a car park, I get out, I go down, I arrive at the clothing store. And I'm looking at all the clothes, and I hate all of them. I don't like any of them. I don't like the material. Oh. I don't like the style. And I'm like, I can't find anything that suits me. This is very frustrating.
Oh.
And as I'm in the height of my frustration, this old woman, very old woman,
comes up to me, witch even,
and she goes, "Excuse me," and I go, and I look at her, and I'm this is what I was wearing. I go, "Yep." And she goes, I've got one AirPod in as well, and I'm listening to a podcast, not this podcast. Actually, edit that. I was listening to this podcast, The Advisory, and in one earpod, she goes, "Excuse me," and I quickly pull it out. She goes, "Where can I find the men's underwear?" And I went, and I literally look up, I look up and across at her, and directly behind her in my field of view is the men's underwear. And she goes, she goes, and the second I look at her, I'm so like the look of surprise on my face is so plain. And she goes, "Oh, sorry, I thought you worked here." And instead of me going, "Oh, that's fine," but by the way, the men's underwear is directly behind. I'm looking at it. It's right there. Yeah. My brain goes, "What made you think that?" She goes, "Oh, you just sort of looked very busy."
Okay, yeah.
And I had a moment of self-reflection where I was like, I did look busy because I was deeply in my own thoughts about like, why don't I like any of these clothes? Is it like the style? Maybe like I'm getting older and like the styles they make them in don't suit me. Is it like that I'm not super comfortable with my body? And like, maybe it's like, I'm not going to like any clothes. I just need to buy some. So I'm like in my own fucking, so her saying you look busy is accurate. So you look busy. And I go, "By the way, men's underwear over there." She's, oh, so sorry, but a joke of it. I say something like, "Oh, I accept tips" or something, and she and her husband or whomever, head off. About 20 minutes later, I still can't find anything I like. I can't I got every black t-shirt I find that I'm trying to purchase. I don't like the texture or something about it. Like I'm fully in my own fucking head at this point.
Okay. Just really quick, how the texture wears? in terms of like how it feels on your body, or
Yeah.
texture is
I'm
in a sort of a look, you know, a look that you're going for. It doesn't quite
oh,
convey the style that you're.
the t-shirts, the texture to wear, and
Yeah.
then and then the sweaters, it was the look. I didn't like the look of them.
Yeah.
Um, I like the kind of canvasy look for outerwear that I wear. So I want like if I'm choosing something, I want it to be kind of
Mm.
canvasy and like have a thick look to it. Is
Yeah, no,
something I like.
that's an important detail to share.
A
Yeah.
wrinkle in the
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
And you know, this all is unfolding within, you know, I go into the change of it, try these shirts, and I hate all of them. So
Mm.
I come out and I'm in a bad place mentally. And as I'm walking,
Yeah.
as I'm
Oh, I
like,
simply
you know,
hate how all these textures look on me.
well, I started to get annoyed with myself because I was like, I never go like I never go to these places. I hate them. But I was like, I'm gonna go to the big fucking shopping center and I'm gonna purchase the things I need. This is the one trip I'm gonna make every 6 months to a shopping center. I'm gonna do it and then go home. And I hated everything, and I started to get annoyed at myself for not just picking something and buying it, which is
Mm.
insane. But so I'm in this like interior head spiral, and as I'm going to put the garments back that I've tried on, because I'm not making that someone else's job. I'm gonna go put them back myself. Um, as I'm doing this, and as I'm in my own fucking head, and as I'm listening to definitely this show, that's for sure what I was
Mhm.
listening to. And spiraling in my own thoughts, someone goes, "Oh, thanks for your help," and I'm like, I got like an armful of black t-shirts that I hate, and I sort of pivot, and it's the old woman and her husband, and she goes, "Yeah, we found what we needed," and it was at that moment that I realized that I had that they had come here to purchase men's underwear,
Mhm.
and I had helped them achieve that ends,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure how to feel about that. So I guess my question is twofold.
Mm.
How do I fix myself and purchase clothing? And also, how should I feel about guiding what would probably be like a 70-year-old couple, you know, around how to find and purchase men's undergarments? Those are, I guess, like the two queries that emerged
Yeah.
from that
You have a
experience.
real sort of undergarment expert sort of or not so much expert, sort of aficionado, as in you've achieved that status sort of just of your own
Yeah.
accord, you know,
I'm
really sort of
I'm a
getting.
knickers Noah, is what they call us in the industry.
For sure, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
one of those, and you've got an air about you that sort of reeks undergarments. You know what I mean? So
Oh, is that good
also
or
they
bad? Is
they
that
absolutely thought you were joking when you said you didn't work there, because later when they've come back to thank you for helping them, you're currently literally have an armful of t-shirts that you're about to start folding and put away. You work at this store in their minds.
I'm I'm doing putbacks.
Yeah. Because they've come in, they've gone,
To
well, this guy looks busy like he's working here, which, first of all, I take issue with. I look busy, so what, you chose to come and ask me for stuff when I looked busy? Okay, sure.
Also,
That says a lot
if I'm
about
in a
you,
clothing
lady.
shop, I prefer for you to say you look fashionable. Give me a compliment, you know? If that's, you know, oh, you look like you look trendy, you look like you fit in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's really, now that I think about it, because they would have. I'm assuming it's very much like they've come up and they've gone, "Oh, excuse me," and then you turn around and they go, "Oh, you look very busy." You know, they sort of scanned you down looking for something to
They
give a
front
compliment on.
on
Yeah, and then they went,
front on it sort of
"You look
yeah, yeah. What they meant
diligent."
is like a piece of shit.
Right, yeah.
But what
They go, "Wow, you look
yeah,
meticulous." Anyway,
you look emotionally distressed. Anyway,
yeah.
do you? I thought you worked here. Also, like, I wasn't doing anything. I was browsing clothing.
Mm,
Like, there was nothing about my demeanor except my usual like 1,000-yard stare that like would suggest that I'm not enjoying myself. Oh, maybe I looked miserable, and they were like, "Oh, he must be working."
And they thought, oh, he's at work right
He's
now.
an employee. Yeah,
Yeah.
that actually would make a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why they were like, oh, what's the closest thing to sort of, visibly very sad? Busy. Busy.
Busy. He looks
You look very busy.
busy.
Yeah.
You're a busy
Okay.
guy, it
So, but
seems
I mean,
visually.
in their mind, you work at that store, and next time they come in, they'll be looking for you. So
That's they won't find me because I
they'll come in
shan't be
and
getting there.
they go, oh, hi, I was in here 2 weeks ago. I'm just looking for. I can't see him in here. The gentleman with the sad eyes, the very sad
Mm.
eyes. Is he sort of? And they're like, sad eyes.
Dead eyes. I
And
don't.
they're like, yeah, helped us with our underwear last week, and then saw him folding different textured shirts that he kept saying, "Oh, I hate these textures. I hate how they feel against my skin." He was like, sort of repeating that to himself under his breath as if like a mantra. So very bizarre to watch, but very helpful. Very helpful
Mm.
when it comes to the undergarments that house my husband's nethers. So,
That cradle his privates.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, it's good to be helpful.
That's you know what? I didn't achieve anything today. If anything, I took a step back, but I helped someone else. That's something.
And that's what we do here. That's what it's all about.
That's what we do at the advisory, James. We help people.
So you did some sort of IRL
Is that
guidance.
freelance advice?
Freelance guidance, yeah.
Yeah. I can't bill that to the company. That was all me. Can't invoice that one.
We're still going to need 50%. Yeah. There's moonlighting rules. It's a whole bunch of stuff. I didn't put it in there, but
I'm starting to think that I should have read my contract before I signed it.
got to do that. That's a takeaway from this episode if
that's
there
a
ever is
big
one.
kind of banner life lesson for me from this experience with Black
Read
Swan.
the fine print.
Just read any. I just sort of I kind of flipped through it, and then I looked at the salary, and then I just signed it. Like I didn't sort of read it necessarily.
I don't think they're going to renew us though, if I'm honest.
You don't think?
I don't think so. Nah.
Is that are you gonna like sell the company off because you own most of
No,
the shares
I
now?
actually, it's weird. I was sort of walking past. It looked like a pretty big meeting today. A lot of recognizable faces in the room.
For sure.
The higher
Karen,
ups and whatnot.
Greg.
And I couldn't help but
Nikki.
notice that there were two guys in that room, sort of at the other end. There are a bunch of suits on one side, two guys sitting at the other end of the table. And they looked like a smaller, hotter, younger version of both of us.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
And there was a poster behind them that said "Advice Life," and the tagline was "Feel the vibes." So
That's very hip.
don't really know what that means, but
it doesn't. It seems unlikely that our network is gonna retain two advice shows. That sort of because then you're competing with yourself, right? That doesn't bode well for us, I don't think.
well, we
It was a
got
good run.
we got to out advice them then. Let's out advice them with this episode.
Of the advisory.
Yeah.
James, let me tell you, if you're listening to this episode of the advice, and you're thinking to yourself in the back of your brain, I'm smarter than these chuckle fucks. I could answer this better. That was very aggressive. Let me rephrase. If you're listening to this episode, watching this episode, you think to yourself, these chuckle boys, I can outthink them. I have better advice to give. You can send us your solutions. Just find us on socials at BLK Swan Society. Send us a voicemail on Instagram, via Gmail, wherever. All the links are in the show notes. Send us a voice clip. Tell us what we've done wrong. We would love to hear it. And definitely not sort of pretend that it's our work.
Yeah.
When it comes to management asking us how we're going to compete with the new and evolving market of Zoomers. So that would really benefit us. Definitely send us a voicemail. Find us on socials.
Shane
Links in the show notes.
really set it off because he sent in that, those
heinous revelation.
Those two clips last week. And so he's really he's almost turned this into kind of like a call-in show, but they don't call in. They call in with a pre-recorded audio clip that they then DM to us on social media or email them to
It's
us.
sort of
And
it's a
then,
it's a call through show where they send
oh,
their
okay,
calls
yeah,
through to us, you
yeah,
know? Yeah.
a call
Just
through
my
show.
only request,
That's
my
very
only
good,
re
actually.
yeah, thank you. That took me all week to write. My one caveat that I would say, if you are gonna send us a voicemail, please don't send us more heinous truths about the shapes from Arnott's. Because what's occurred here, what Shane has done to us, and this is my I got very animated last episode. You should go check that out. Shane sent us some shit about shapes. Okay. I wasn't playing it up for the recording. I wasn't like doing a bit. There was some serious damage that occurred with what Shane Dunn did last episode, vis-a-vis shapes and biscuits and their categorization within the food hierarchy, and indeed within the supermarket landscape and the shelving procedures of supermarkets. And so I would just like to say to future prospective call-ins, if you want to correct our advice, more than
Call
happy to
throughs.
hear it. Call throughs, beg your pardon. If you have information on shapes, fuck off.
Yeah.
Because I'm done. It took me several days to kind of re-put together some parts of my life that I have and assumptions about myself that I have
Yeah.
constructed over some years, and therapy is going to certainly hear about it for the next few months. So just
No more
steer clear of
shapes related content. However, I will say that someone who shall not be named in my life is a Redditor, and I don't want to expose them, okay, for fear of the backlash that they'll receive, because
Are they posting or reading?
they're just reading. They're just reading, it seems.
Oof, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
They sent me a screenshot of something that got posted on r/Australian Nostalgia, something like that. And it was about shapes, and it was all of these people voting what their favorite shape flavors were. This only got posted the other day. It was sent to me last night. And the number one favorite flavor was savory.
Now, if
Dave,
your
David,
favorite
it's not a flavor. It's not a flavor.
That's not you can't walk into a store and say, could you please direct me to a box of savory shapes? Therefore, it is an invalid option to vote on.
Hello, Baskin and Robbins. Yes, the 32nd flavor that I would like to add to my ice cream cone is sweet. My favorite ice cream flavor is sweet. What did you just say? Yeah, my favorite biscuit flavor is savory, and my favorite ice cream flavor is sweet. What the fuck are you talking about? Your favorite flavor is savory.
Favorite flavors. I came in with a generous energy tonight on account of what occurred last week. I was trying to reset my vibes.
We just have to move on because we're gonna dwell on this.
Kidding?
I know,
yeah,
dude.
Just know. Sorry, I was stupid. Just know. Fuck you, Reddit.
Hey! The whole point of our chip company is to change the seasoning that goes on the chip, right? That's the whole point. My favorite flavor is not the flavoring, just the bicky.
There is one exception, which is if you're selling corn chips. No, it's every chip. If your favorite flavor of like crisps chips is like sea salt, you're a psychopath. You're a normal motherfucker.
Yes, I would like very much would like a big bag of my favorite flavor of Samboy chips. Original.
Original is the flavor in the share pack in the startup that you work at that is always present because everyone eats the good flavors and leaves the originals.
Also, original is just the vehicle that you design to deliver people flavor But you said no flavor on this one. Just the vehicle,
Just salt.
thanks.
Just the vehicle, just the car.
We
Just the chip
can't.
car.
We can't.
We
Please,
gotta move
we
on.
have to hard
We gotta move
pivot
on.
into a piece of advice.
James, this question comes from Allison Green, and I don't remember where I got it from. So the source is NA.
Wherever you're out there,
Um,
Allison, and wherever you posted this,
We
thank
appreciate
you.
James, is it unprofessional to take a Zoom call from a treadmill? I've noticed an increasing number of employees, from individual contributors to managers and even directors, getting their steps in on a treadmill during Zoom calls. Video is on and they're bouncing around, wiping their brows. What's your take? It feels so unprofessional to me. It is quite distracting and almost insulting for a junior team member to be walking and talking to a senior level VP. Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. Coming in
So
with the sauce immediately.
sounds like it's not so much the treadmill that they have a problem with, and maybe some type of in the throes with their insane ego.
It it does. It is that thing of like, senior VP getting paid like 200 grand a year to work here. And you're like, listen, it's our bi-monthly, every 2 months, we finally get some FaceTime. I can ask you all these questions about how you
Mm,
want us to proceed. And
yeah.
they're just there jogging on the Zoom. They're like,
Sorry,
yeah,
sorry,
go on,
Mark.
Karen.
Yeah, sorry, Mark.
Sorry.
It looks like you're bobbing up and down quite a lot. What's happening there?
Yeah, I'm just getting my steps in. Yeah, they say
Yeah,
you should do it.
yeah,
They say
no,
you do 10,000 steps a day. 10,000
definitely.
steps
And
a
I
day.
think it's important to sort of get those stand minutes up and stuff like that. Um, I am gonna need you to stand still when you fucking talk to me. All right? Why don't you have a little bit?
fall off.
Why don't you have a little bit of
I'll fall off.
respect? Why don't you have a little
I'll
bit of
fall off if I do
respect and
that.
you stand still when you talk to me, please?
I'll fall off if I do that. I'm getting my steps in. That's
Why
quite
don't you
tiring.
walk your ass to Centrelink, Mark? Okay? Because you're now fired.
It does feel
I
like
am a
like,
senior and you are a junior. You will stand still when you talk to me, please.
Could you imagine? I misread it because it's quite distracting for a junior team member to be walking and talking to a C. Okay, so I misread it the first time. I thought the VP was jogging, but it's the fucking junior team.
Yeah, he's
It's
getting his steps in.
He's getting the steps in. I think that it's one of those things of people assume that internal meetings, all of the standards are out the window now. If it's internal, you can do whatever the fuck you. Now, granted, here at Black Swan Society, that is true. But elsewhere where it matters, it's like, oh yeah, it's internal. I'm gonna be cooking lunch while we have this conversation. I'm gonna be doing this, that, and the fifth thing. I don't have any problem with that. Live your life, do your job. They shouldn't necessarily, they shouldn't be that issue, right?
Yeah.
I famously, if you listen to me for long enough, I fucking hate capitalism. But I think one of the things that's missing here is
Keep in mind for everyone
there's-
that he is at the center of the capitalistic machine. He is the cog that keeps the machine turning. Meanwhile, being like, oh, I hate being a cog. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can participate in the system and also hate its existence at the same time. The fact that smartphones exist doesn't preclude me from needing to own an iPhone. And the notion that those are mutually exclusive is one of those things that is manufactured by systems to convince you that you shouldn't criticize systems while participating in them. One thing that I would say,
okay,
is
but real quick, it sounds a little bit like because it's like you're not just like, oh guys, gotta be part of this capitalistic machine. You're like, no, I'm not just part of this capitalistic machine. I am fueling the fires. I'm keeping it burning. You know what I mean? I'm at the tippy top of this machine whipping. But hey, guys, I'm just part of it. What can you do?
What do you
And
think I do for a living?
I get so much joy out of the whippings that I do.
what do you think I do
Goal
for a
in the
job?
fire! You know what I mean? That type of energy.
Right.
And then he comes home and he kicks his shoes off. He wipes the blood of the innocent people that he's been whipping all day off his face, and he sits down on his couch and he goes, you know what? Turns on his big flat screen TV, sips his bottle of expensive whiskey and goes, God, I hate capitalism.
I mean, I don't do.
Oh,
Listen, I don't do
capitalism
the
is really
whipping.
throwing my shoulder out. I'm gonna start whipping with the left just to even this shit out. You know what I mean?
That's like the idea of that being like tennis strokes. Where you're like, ah, my left isn't as good, so I should probably try and favor it more this week to improve
Guys, I've
the.
got capitalism
You know,
elbow.
ugh,
Capitalism elbow this week
it's
again.
classic. I need to just. I got to get some more venture capital in there. It'll fix it. It's fine.
So these people using these ergonomic whips, I got to start using one of those.
They don't look as cool though, and part of what I love about capitalism is how cool I get to look.
Yeah,
And that's a
and
challenge for
they
me,
produce less
personally.
blood, and it's like, why am I even
What's the
whipping?
point?
Why am I
Why
even whipping at that point?
at a certain point, why are we here?
Yeah.
Blood's half the thing.
Look, I think you're absolutely fine as long as the thing that you're doing isn't detracting away from or impacting the thing that you're doing. If you're
Okay.
gunning it on the like, because they mean they're on like a walking pad at their desk, at their standing desk.
Yes. Yeah.
This
One of my colleagues
motherfucker's
does
not.
this.
He's not hauling.
He's not.
He doesn't have the fucking. He doesn't have the treadmill
He's
set to
he's got the-
7, and he's
it's on
like,
point
yeah.
2.
So this week's to analyze this quarter, I think it's been pretty good. Anyone else have anything they want to throw in? Ah, my legs are burning. You know what I mean? He's barely moving on a treadmill.
I like the idea of that happening, and then also just like off camera, there's someone being like, "Come on, Mark, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, buddy. Just
Yeah.
push through."
His PT's there as well.
Yeah, his PT's there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, just for the sake of balance, hard disagree with you,
Mhm.
and invent an opinion I don't have, which is
Okay.
I think that if you do this, it's disrespectful to your teammates.
Yeah.
It's disrespectful to the idea of having a job. Okay, I'm paying you to work. I'm not paying you to get fit. If you get fat, that's your fault. Work out in your own time.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what kind of family
Please,
commitments you have.
please work out in
Um,
your own time, guys.
Please work out in your own time.
Yeah.
And also, did I say you could walk? I don't recall that being in the employment contract. So if you're gonna walk on my time,
Good point.
then that's my time, okay? And you're gonna pay that back to me. And so I expect over for every minute. Oh, you're doing a little walkie. That's time you owe me back. This meeting didn't count. That's overtime that you owe me.
Yeah, for every
frankly.
1,000 steps you do, you got to stay back an hour.
And it's, guys, it's your lunchtime, not mine.
Yeah.
I'll wait. It's your lunchtime, not mine. I got my lunch right here. I got my sandwich. I got my bottle of water. I have to mark your exams during my lunch anyway, so it's your lunchtime, not mine. I'll wait.
Mr.
I'll wait.
McNeil,
I
have
asked
a
for
doctor's
silence.
appointment. I have to go at
Well, you're
2:30.
just gonna have to explain to Dr. Rafferty why it is that you missed your appointment, and explain to your mother why it is that you were late turning up for her to pick you up. And it's because you were talking during class, wasn't it?
No, you said it was because I was doing too many steps.
It's your lunchtime, not mine.
But I'm also walking for prostate cancer.
I'll wait.
So,
I'll wait for I'll wait for quiet. I'll wait for.
oh,
I've got nowhere else to
quiet's
be.
more important. Okay.
I've got nowhere else to be. I'll wait.
That's pretty fluffed up, Mr. McNeil.
Oh,
that's pretty
that's
freaked
3
up.
minutes. See, that's 3
Okay.
minutes now.
All right.
Okay. So
I'm not going to say anything, guys. I'm not going to say anything. I just think it's pretty freaked up.
sorry, what was that? Sorry.
Oh,
That's 4 minutes now. It's your lunchtime,
for
not mine,
fuck's
guys. It's
sake.
your lunchtime. It's unbelievable. And you're my favorite class too. I'm very disappointed in you guys.
Oh, don't be such a cunt, Mr. McNeil.
Okay, that's 5 minutes.
Guys, I had to do that one. That was a freebie, right? We can do 5.
6 minutes.
We can
It's
do
your
6.
lunchtime, not
We
mine.
can do 6. It's fine.
That's 7.
He's got a sausage roll. He's gonna have to go use a fucking microwave at
James,
some point.
I don't have an off ramp for this bit. I don't know how to get out of it. We're just trapped in, because anything you say, we could be here forever.
Oh, we could be in there forever. Yeah.
Because podcasting is talking, so it's like a self-perpetuating bit. Did we just invent renewable energy?
No, I did.
Sorry, how is that your? How are you taking credit for that?
No, I did it.
Okay. All
Me and
right.
Mark have already
Um,
patented it. Mark's patenting it right now.
who's Mark?
PA. He's a new
You're
PA.
in primary school and you have a PA? Oh no, we're back in reality now. Sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't. No, the bit ended and then we're back here.
Yeah.
You got a new
He
PA?
was he was there when I was doing the bit as well. But
I've been asking for a PA for like 2 years and they won't give me one.
you know.
And you have two PAs now?
Yeah. It was one of the ones that you used to whip.
I
And
didn't whip. That was
I said to
one.
him, and I was
We
like, I
were
don't whip. I don't do whips. So
we had a consensual relationship and it was a part of his employment that he insisted. I don't know why you. It's not that that's reductionist. Okay, it's a
I just came, yeah,
complicated
cool.
thing.
I just came to help people. I just came to do advice and to help people. I don't want to get
Fine, fine.
I don't want to know any of the stuff that you're up to because plausible
It was all
deniability. You
it
know
was
what I
all
mean?
consensual. It's all consensual.
What does
There's
that mean?
nothing.
I don't need to know.
There's nothing
I don't need to know. I don't want to know.
legal about that. James, this next question comes from Ask a Manager, my new favorite place to go to find questions, which is a advice site exclusively for batshit insane work things.
Okay.
And I'm now obsessed with it.
Mm.
This one this isn't we still have the feature question,
Yes.
but this one I love, which is I saved, I've just accidentally deleted the bookmark. Shit. This hang on. Do you see where my cursor is in the document? This is a bit behind baseball. I just accidentally deleted the bookmark that would guide James because I was gonna ask you to read it. But this one's all about saving someone's life and then wishing you hadn't. And everyone shut the fuck up about it. See
This
where I'm
one right
looking?
here. Yeah.
This one right here. Yeah, I don't know who it's from because I just accidentally deleted it and Control Z doesn't work, but it's from Ask a Manager. Would you please read us the tale of heroism that this person wishes hadn't occurred?
Absolutely can. You said it's a tale of heroism.
Thank you so much. Yeah, would we get a tune for that?
6 months ago, my coworker Jane collapsed at her desk. She was unresponsive and had no pulse. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Jane didn't collapse at her desk and have no pulse. Jane died. Jane dropped. I'll change it. 6 months ago, my coworker Jane fully dropped dead at work.
Fully died.
She was unresponsive and had no pulse. I started performing CPR while a colleague called 911. Someone else brought the office defibrillator, and I used it to revive Jane. She was dead.
Pause.
Sorry, I'm gonna pause this music. She was
died.
dead.
Fully dead.
Jane did not pass out at work. Jane dropped dead at work.
Jane died and saw whatever lays beyond.
So someone else brought the office defibrillator, and I used it to fully bring dead Jane back to life. Is what happened.
Sorry, other gripe. Just sorry, what's that proper noun? The office defibrillator?
Yeah.
Where the fuck do you, in Australia, you have like a fire blanket and an extinguisher. I've never been to a workplace where they have an office defibrillator.
In Australia, if you're on fire, we've got quite a lot of things in the office kit to help you with that. But if you have a heart attack or you just fully, if you turn off like Jane did, I don't think we've got too many solutions for you. Maybe we could jab you with an EpiPen.
No,
we got bring you back.
We got a few 6-packs in the fridge. We'll pull one out for you. That's about as close as we can come to helping. Oh, so you're just going straight
to like, they're dead. Move on, you know.
Time to go to the beer fridge, yeah.
By the time the EMTs got there, Jane's heart was beating and she was breathing again. She was in the hospital for a few days. The experience was very emotional for me. Okay. Selfish, dude. Jane died. Let's not make this about you, all right? Jane died.
I guess Jane doesn't remember dying. She was dead.
Jane, I know that you died, but I don't think you realize how stressful your death was for me. And I think it's pretty selfish that you're not recognizing that. And nor have you sort of like, you haven't sent me like a gift basket. Thanks for making me not dead. Probably would have been pretty stressful when I died right in front of you and you had to undead me. you know, all of
Do you
those things.
do you think there's a possibility that I don't want to victim blame? Is it possible Jane did this for leverage? Some social credits
Yeah. Is it
to
Jane's
have one up
fault?
on
Is it Jane's fault is what you're saying?
because it's like if Jane does this and you're in a meeting 2 months from now
Mm.
and you disagree with her, oh, I don't know if like you're gonna feel bad about it. Oh, I'd love to say, like I feel like this is like a big social leverage that you have now. It's gonna be difficult to criticize her. It's if you disagree with me so much, why didn't you just let me die? Like she's got to get out of jail free card for
Oh,
everything.
shit.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah.
No, that's
Maybe
good.
I should die in the office.
No, see, everyone does this. Everyone thinks that
Yeah.
faking their own death is the way to do it, and it never is. It
It
never
never
is.
is. Yeah.
The
That's
experience
something
was
to think
very
about.
emotional for me. There's a huge difference between taking CPR classes and performing it in an emergency situation.
Hmm.
It being a Friday, I took the rest of the day off. Wow, guys. And I hope no one objects to this, but I just brought someone back from the dead, and that's
Time for
incredibly
a Nuno.
draining. That's
Time for
very
a Nuno.
draining. So I'm gonna go home early.
Yeah.
Because I saved a life and I'm sort of like dealing with that. I'm just gonna get my things. It's a Friday. It's a
It's
Friday. When you
Friday.
save a life on a Friday, you have a half day. You
Do you
know?
have hey, you have a half day if you save someone's life, you get it. Well, actually, is it end of financial year like it is now, where it's like a half day on a Friday that's going to add up later? You know, that could be problematic for us come
So
first June.
thank you for saving a life. Have a half day on Friday, but let's wait until the new financial year. Is what you're
Let's wait
saying?
until EFS. Yeah, I would appreciate that. You understand the pressure we're under right now. So,
Yeah, you
but
get it. Jane fucking dropped dead because of the pressure she's under.
and you taking a day off, that could kill her again. All over again.
You want the blood of Jane? You want Jane's blood on your hands twice?
I'm sorry, you killed her just to kill her. You saved her just to kill her again?
Is that what
That's
you did?
sadistic.
You-
That's sadistic.
I know how double jeopardy works. Okay, charge me once ain't gonna charge me again. I'ma kill Jane
Can't charge
twice.
me again. Oh, is that how that? If you kill someone and revive them and then kill them again, yeah, I get, yeah. You're not killing them the second time. You're just taking back what you did. Is that a legal loophole we've discovered?
No, parents say it all the time. I brought you into this world. I can take you out of it. I think they're legally allowed to.
Do parents say that?
Yeah, my dad still reminds me. It was my birthday recently. He put it in the card. Happy
And that
birthday.
relationship is,
Lots of love, mum and dad. P.S. I brought you into this world. I can take you out of it.
and you guys have a good relationship?
Yeah, it's a pretty good way.
No reason. Let's
Okay.
continue and compartmentalize that one.
When I returned Monday, my coworkers applauded when I entered the office. I'm uncomfortable being the center of attention, so I kept my head down and stuck to business as usual. And eventually they took my cue and sent us back to business as usual.
Mm-hmm.
Jane and her husband sent me a gift basket at work. About time. A huge gift basket. Embarrassingly big. Jane,
Sorry,
I
hold on.
knew I should have kept you dead, you bitch. Oh, yeah. Jane, this is embarrassingly big. I knew I shouldn't have hit you with the defib paddles. Fuck.
Is there a proportional response for someone bringing you back from the dead? If there is, it's not a gift basket. I don't think.
Okay, what's the gift then?
I don't know. I just know it's not a big gift basket. That seems so weird. Like a bunch of because gift baskets famously terrible. It's like a bunch of chocolate you don't like. It's always some weird chutney and like a bottle of wine you'd never drink. Like gift baskets aren't good. Unless they're like wine and cheese ones specifically and they're real bougie, and that never happens. They always buy you the lame one. Like, I just don't know. What I'm saying, actually, if we take a step back, what I'm saying is I don't understand gift baskets and I wish people would stop doing them. This has
Okay.
nothing to do with what we're talking about. I just think
Sure.
I've learned something about myself. I think I
And
just
you
don't
think
like gift baskets.
and you think that, like, wine and cheese is the way to go, but someone's gonna end up giving you, like, a fucking shitty Jacob's Creek or something.
100%.
Yeah. Sorry, I did think, like, this is 'cause that's not a question we can solve. What should you get someone for saving your life?
Oh, no, that's not part of the advice. That was just me.
No, I
That's
know,
you
I'm
know
just
what?
saying, I wouldn't know.
If you have a suggestion. Oh, that was you could tell us. I was hoping you would jump in but
Personalized
you should.
keepsake. A piece of custom jewelry or personalized item like a watch or a pendant with an inscription, making it a meaningful gift. This
Okay,
could include
you
the
know what?
date of the life-saving event, a heartfelt message, or their initials.
Thanks, James, and definitely not AI.
Perhaps they have
If
a favorite band, sport, or hobby even.
still happening.
Could get them tickets to a concert, a game, or provide them with an experience related to their hobby, like a cooking class for a food enthusiast. Thanks for saving my life. Here's a gift
Yeah.
certificate to a cooking class.
I think my issue is like how transient it feels. Like if you're gonna give someone something to be like, you saved my life, give them
Mm,
like a symbol or a keepsake, like something that is you saying to them, hey, I want you to remember this thing you did for me forever. I'll be eternally grateful. Not
yes.
here's a bunch of cheese and chocolate.
Mm.
Jump fuck like that's not that's gone.
50% of your net worth. That's
Oh
what you
shit, you
should
want to go
give.
fiscal?
Yeah. You
Damn.
should cough up 50%.
50%.
You're lucky they don't take 100. You'd have nothing if they didn't save you.
That's true. That's true. Do you think that like I'm trying to think of like what 50% of my net worth isn't a lot of money. Um, but it's a symbolic exchange, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. In return, you can sleep on my couch at any time for 1 month straight.
Anytime you want.
NQA. No questions asked.
No questions asked. Now that is an appealing offer because I sometimes do need someone to crash.
Here is my phone number. No, here is a phone
Here's a
number.
key.
Here is a phone
Oh,
number. You call that at any time of day or night. 3 men will show up and they will do anything you want.
like sex stuff too?
No, I mean, like, if you're in like a precarious situation, you need a ride home.
But
Not
okay,
here are
but
3 men to grant you your most deepest sexual desires.
okay, but have you
Hi,
met
thank
them
you
and do they
so
seem
Jane, thank you so much. Thank you so much for saving my life. In return, I have bought you 2 prostitutes. What? That's a weird gift, dude. Why'd you do that? 2
They'll do anything
prozzies?
you
2
want.
prozzies for the
They'll
life save? What?
They'll do anything you want, but no kissing. That's very funny.
You know, it just means sort of like something that is, you know, it's off the beaten path. It's, you know, but it's sort of like something that they can use. Oh, you saved me. You were like you were like my lifesaver in this situation. Here's like an out for you
Oh, in a
in
different.
in
Yeah,
whatever circumstance, you know, you need an out, call this number. I'll help you make it
got
happen.
it. Now you don't know the twist in this story yet, do you? You haven't read this
No,
question ahead of time.
no.
Okay,
All I know
I'm
is that
just.
Jane and her husband sent me a gift basket. It was huge. It was embarrassingly large. Okay. With a handwritten thank you card signed by her whole family. Wow. Coworker saw it and started remarking on the episode again. I smiled and nodded, but didn't engage further. Felt weird, but they were entitled to their feelings.
Oh,
Guys, you're entitled to think of me as a savior, a god even, but please keep it down a little bit, you know.
feels bad, man.
Respect my privacy, please. As the savior.
I get it. It's a workplace. That is fucking weird. But you also did fully bring her back from the dead.
Yeah, you
though.
saved someone's life, you know? Jane
Yeah.
called to thank me. I asked her how she was feeling and said I was glad she made it and that she was.
Oh no.
So they call and they're like, Jane's like, thank you so much for everything you did. And then they go, hey, I'm just glad you made it out of there. Back to the living side of life. Very
It was
Matthew
a close
McConaughey of them.
call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She put her husband on the phone and he thanked me. Then both her kids. Oh my God, dude. This is so much. This is so
It's a
much.
lot.
I almost expected to hear from her dog too. See, even he's like, fucking Jesus. When Jane returned to work, she bought me another gift. Now she seems to think we have a special bond and we're supposed to be best friends.
Ooh, it
Ooh,
makes me so
ooh,
uncomfortable.
Jane, why do you think that?
Ooh.
Why do you think that though, Jane?
You ever I had to get the weirdness out of my body. Just like
Oh,
you ever read a question and go, "Hey, someone's doing something for them and not for the other person," because that has nothing to do with the question asker. That is all Jane. That is like pure selfish. That has nothing to do with the person.
we have a
That
special
is
bond
all
now.
her.
Me and you are deeply connected. My
Uh,
timeline came to an end, and you jumped in to revitalize my timeline. And what you
think we
did was
just
you infinitely tied your timeline to my timeline.
no,
Now
we
we're
just feel
two infinite beings tied together as one,
we
floating
actually
through
just
the ether of time, you know?
no, we just work together still. We
Nah,
just
nah,
fully
me
work
and you,
together still.
we're linked for life, dude.
No, we just fully work together. It doesn't mean anything.
She jokes to her colleagues that since I saved her life, she's indebted to me forever. I'm embarrassed when she calls attention to it. New hires hear about it and want to know the whole story. It's been about 6 months and people are still talking about it. Of course they are.
Of course they
Someone
are.
died in their
Fully
office
brought
and
someone
you
back.
brought them back to life. Of course it's still talking about it.
It'd be weird if they weren't talking about it.
Yeah, it's just like the most interesting thing that's ever happened to that office building ever.
Offices are so boring.
The kicker,
So boring.
I can't stand Jane. Oh, no.
It's so good. Love this question.
I never liked her. I'm happy I was able to help her through her medical crisis, and if it happened again, I wouldn't hesitate to do the same thing. But Jane has always driven me up the wall with attention seeking and over chumminess, and now it's so much worse. Do you have any suggestions for what to say? Oh, this is like real like swim fan energy. You know what I mean? This person is just like
yeah.
latched onto you.
Fully chosen
Oh,
you. Yeah.
you are chosen.
It's tricky as well if you already dislike them, because like in the moment of crisis, you just act. You don't. It could be anyone of the. You would do that for anyone around you. You have that training. You're just acting in the moment. And the weirdest thing must
First
be
of all,
afterwards.
but we don't know
Sorry.
that. We don't know that.
What's that-
People
what's that?
always say that, what you just said, right? People always
that?
say, oh, you know, you got to leap into action. Oh, they leapt
Sure,
up
yeah.
into action, ready to solve a situation with their training, their cunning, their skill, their prowess.
Sure.
I don't know if that's the case all the time.
What do you?
I don't know
what
if
do you
that's
think?
how everyone responds. I think sometimes there's an, oh my God, oh, they're having like a medical emergency. Is there a doctor on the plane? Anyone with medical training? And there is someone in there. And they're sitting there sipping their drink, just going like,
They
please,
sit back in their chair.
please, just fucking let someone else come forward. Just fucking let anyone else come forward first. Please, they're really dying over here. Oh, fuck. Please let there just be one other person that has medical
day off.
training on this fucking plane. Oh, they're really biting the
They're
big
really
one now.
fully dying.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, I've got some medical training. Fuck's sake, Jane.
I do.
I
but
don't
I'm
even
taking
like
my
this
drink.
lady. Fucking don't even like this lady. God damn it. Give me the defibrillator.
Do you? Okay. Alternate suggestion here. I understand what you're saying. I think my point is, well, this person is saying I would have done it for anyone else. It wasn't about her.
Right.
I fucking hate her guts.
Yeah,
Okay.
again, they say that. They say that.
Why would you save someone you hate though? if that isn't true, if I okay, suggestion.
Because you had an off day.
Oh, she's having a bad day, so she saved her
Yeah.
worst enemy. I was just thinking, like, if we're in the office tomorrow, and it's a Friday, and I drop dead,
Mm.
um, and you save me, and you say, oh, I would have done it for anyone. I fucking hate David. I would buy that. I would buy
Right.
that.
Okay.
Well, how is this different? Because you would save me because you just have that hero within you, but you fucking hate my guts. So it's like,
Yeah, I guess I feel like most people, if they can do something, in this particular instance, are going to do something. So that does make
I
sense.
I mean, the
But
bystander effect is one of those like like psychological phenomenon where it's like the bystander effect only lasts as long as like until one person takes action. Like if one person in that situation, I remember this when I was studying psych, if one person in a situation steps forward and takes charge and starts acting and starts directing,
mm,
people do whatever they're told. But until the first person has to take action. In this
yeah,
case, she started doing CPR, said, "Hey, call 911 or whatever." But
right.
it's that period before where you don't know who you are in crisis until
Okay.
that moment, you know?
And what you're saying is that's a really good opportunity. Those are
To
sort of
let
situations that you want to inject yourself in more often to get
well,
things out of people.
it,
So you're saying when in a crisis, when someone steps up and they're being authoritative and they're directing and everything, they're taking charge of the situation,
for sure.
and you said, and people tend to comply with that. So what if someone comes in, they go, all right, looks like Jane appears to be dying on the floor. Mark, put $100 bill on my desk. Mary, go and get me 6 cans of Diet Coke. All right, Mark, give me a case of Pepsi Maxes. All right, guys, let's get stuck in here. Dave, get me a pizza. All right, let's do it. Mary,
Yeah.
empty that wallet. All right, guys. Now, anyone got the defibrillator? Anyone got the defibrillator? I am also in need of a MacBook Pro 13 or 15 inch. I'm, not going to be picky. If anyone has one of those, could also use that.
Mm.
So, and then that way I'm sort of kind of like an overt sort of thief, but like at the end of the day,
You did do the right. You
and
did
I
kind of
and I
step
helped and
in.
I helped that person.
It does
All
feel
I did was I made sure that I took charge of the situation and I helped
for
that
sure.
person, but I
For
also
sure.
took charge of, the financials of the situation. I was like, well, I am providing a service here, so I do need to get paid.
I am gonna
So
need to be adequately compensated.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of people don't understand that, good deeds require good pay.
Yes.
People don't say that often enough, I don't think.
And
You know,
obviously in this scenario, there is only a singular solution. Maybe two. The first one's quit, right? Hate
that
to
is a
say it.
good option. It's a
Hate
good
to say it,
option.
but
Get a different job.
if she or like get like promoted or demoted, you know what I mean? Up or down, just get me away from Jane. Move me to a different floor, you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Or
Okay. I don't like that pause. Or
let me
what?
just flash a disclaimer really quickly. Think back to the situation in which Jane had a heart attack or, Jane turned off. What were the variables? What was happening that day? What was Jane doing something that maybe contributed to turning her off? What were sort of like, oh, it turns out, Jane is allergic to lemon. There was a lemon ambipur that just got plugged in the wall, that she smelt it, it inflamed some things and that turned her off. Maybe I'll leave a couple lemons around. Maybe I spritz her with a little bit of, whatever. I'm just saying maybe we can right this wrong. All I'm saying is that day, look, hey, stay with me here. But that day, I fucked up. And now what I need to do is we need to take charge. We need to take charge of the situation, okay?
Okay.
Much like when you would when you come in
it.
to solve the situation. We're taking charge of the situation again, and we're saying, look, I fucked up and I accidentally solved that problem last time. Now I need to give myself an opportunity to right that wrong. That's all I'm saying. You know? And I think that that's okay.
I I had to remove myself just sort of legally to be
David
covered.
agrees. David
I do not.
absolutely agrees.
Absolutely
Signed,
not. I won't.
sealed, delivered. David's yours. Yeah.
What, are you selling me? What's happening?
Just sort of,
Nah, no one would pay for me. That can't be true.
you're towing the company line here and you're getting behind everything that everyone else says. And you're saying signed, sealed,
It's
delivered to the things that I just said, putting yourself on the line with it, because that's what we do. You know, we back the results, you know?
Yeah, it's starting to feel like me getting Zuckerberg's out of the company is continues to be a problem for me, just sort of interpersonally, fiscally. It feels like it was one of those things that yeah, it's breaking not well for me, I would say.
Hmm.
Um
Well, I'm
Breaking
starting to
Bad
think is, where were you when Jane passed out the first time? Where were you exactly?
I
Hmm.
was in the break room. I was making a coffee.
That's strange.
Why would
Hmm.
that be? That's not strange. That's what I do that.
Mark said he saw you over by the vending machines with a
That's
smoothie.
that's that's
Why would you
next
be
to the I
making a
didn't
coffee
okay,
if
hold
you
on.
already got a
Hang on.
smoothie?
Let's
Strange.
just take a step. Let's take a step back. I
Mark said
yes, I
you smelled especially floral and fruity that day.
yeah, I was
Hmm.
wearing I hang let's just hold on.
Yeah.
I I did have a smoothie that morning.
Yeah.
I got into work and I thought to myself, I haven't eaten breakfast. I'll get a smoothie.
Yeah.
That'll be how I consume some of my daily nutrition. And then I put the smoothie on my desk and then I went into the kitchen and then I made myself a coffee. And while I was waiting for the pot to make the coffee, I did go over to the vending machines to get like a granola bar. And so that
Hmm.
did happen. But that's where she had her incident was pretty it wasn't close to the break room. So I'm not sure how this is relevant. Um
Hmm. Mark said that you made Jane a coffee as well.
yeah, well,
Strange what
she
happened
asked
to
me.
her.
We work across the cubicle from each other. Of course I made a coffee for her.
And
That's a normal thing that happens.
you knew that Jane was had a lemon allergy, or
Well, yeah,
so
it's
you
yeah,
had that
it's
information.
well, it's publicly available on her profile in the HR site.
Wow.
Yeah, I well, because every time we do an event, this each comes up. Like whenever
Interesting.
we do catering and stuff, it comes up. But I mean,
Interesting.
we all
Just
knew that.
things to think about, things to
Everyone
consider.
knew that. It's not something I
Hmm.
specifically knew. That's everyone knew that. So
Should we do the feature question?
yeah,
Murderer?
I'd love to get out of Dodge if that's possible. James, my manager, has set up Google alerts for everyone on her team, so she receives notifications whenever our names appear in the news.
What the
She
fuck?
it
Hey
doesn't
guys, I
get
want
better
every
from here.
single one of you to know this, right? On this Monday morning standing meeting that we've all got. Stop walking when I'm talking to you, Jeff. Now, I have Google alerts on every single one of you. And if one of you appear in an article, a blog post, a headline, even a fucking YouTube video, I'm going to know about it.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck are you talking about?
So it gets worse.
This is why you
It
have
gets
to
no,
go
no,
by a different name on the internet. You absolutely have
100%.
to.
That's why I go by James C. So she uses the alerts to then post messages on our team's internal group chat with things like break a leg, Jorge. His improv team has a show coming up in Milwaukee, or congrats to Linda for being selected as a finalist in the local baking competition.
What dog? That's insane. That's insane. You're posting about you're fucking doxing me internally to everyone else, and just
It's
like
wild.
you're out here snooping, digging through people's trash, and then like posting it like it's, you know, some big treasure or artifact to you know, say, hey, I was
It's
there, I did this.
it's a level of like invasiveness that I just hadn't conceived of.
Yeah.
I'd never thought that like this just like doesn't seem. But the idea of like, could you imagine? Okay, every time an episode of The Advisory goes up,
Yeah.
someone at my office is like, another banger. DMAX crushed it. Post
And
that
they
in like
post it
our
into
team
everyone
chat,
else. Yeah.
like in the shared like internal group chat
Yeah.
with like all of our code snippets and like conversations and queries and invoicing and like just the normal work stuff. Insane to
Which I'm
me.
sure you would reply back with, make sure you all give it a 5-star review on
It's like
iTunes.
give it a five
Yeah.
star review on your 5-star review on iTunes or a
Yeah.
rating or review on your platform of
Hey
choice and
guys,
leave us a comment
really
or
important
indication.
that you get those 5-star reviews in on you know, like Spotify, on, you
Mhm.
know, iTunes, that type of stuff. So
And if you sort of suggest someone, I will do a funny impression of them because I'm bad at impressions.
yeah, and all this is just in the
Also true.
Slack. You're just
It's in the
replying to yeah.
Slack thread. Yeah. Uh, James, the complicating factor is that our team's work is somewhat in the public eye in our industry,
Okay.
meaning there's a high likelihood one of us is in the news at any given time for something we've worked on, driven by our company's PR. So, to
Mm,
some degree, it makes sense you'd want to keep track of your team's professional PR related accomplishments.
okay.
We have whole channels and boards internally dedicated to highlighting those kinds of items.
Yeah.
That said, our PR team does a roundup of news items so she could keep track of those without needing to set up her own alerts. Or she could ask us to share them with her. The announcement posts she's doing about our personal lives are relatively benign, and I'm pretty sure she asked the individual if she can share before posting.
Okay.
I suspect she's thinking of it as a way of building rapport and helping us bring our whole selves to work. It's
Definitely.
something about yeah, fully
Yeah.
yeah, my boss is actually fully tracking all
Yeah.
of my activity online, and that's how I'm gonna bring my authentic self to the office, you
Yeah,
know?
I love when someone sort of ambushes me with a detail about my life that they haven't received through an earned proximity with me, but instead by going and snooping around online and then later sharing it with me, but in a public forum. Nothing weird about that. No.
This has happened to me before where like I've spent the last sort of like
Hey, David,
I've
writing
spent
them
the last
books, are ya? Yeah, dude.
but
Cool it.
in the most in so like I spent the last 5 years kind of merging my personal and professional lives so that this doesn't happen anymore. But like
Mm,
a couple years ago, it was like when I first started with a particular company. One of the things I don't do is share all the other stuff I do because it, first of all, it's my shit. Second of all, it can be complicating and weird. Oh,
yeah.
you're an author, and suddenly everyone wants to fucking tell you about the manuscript they have in a drawer in their attic that they never finished. Oh, I wish I was a writer, and I didn't want to do
You
this.
send them a link to a Notion that sort of has links of it sort of has little categories, you know, writing, video, podcasts, you know, those types of
Music,
things. Yeah.
probably.
And
Yeah.
then little just sort of links out to different things, you know, like yeah,
Mm,
there's like the playthroughs that you used to do, you know, the books, and then, you know,
yeah, yeah. So they
yeah.
just can get it all.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
little DC McWiki. So it's
I just started this job, and it was like 3 or 4 weeks in, and someone had snooped around and found this stuff. Now it's
okay.
all connected, but at the time you couldn't connect my like you couldn't there was no way to bridge them.
Yeah.
Um, so I found it, and it was in a company wide meeting. There's like a
Yeah.
hundred people on this call, and it's in the like the before the meeting has started, but it's like people just chatting, and someone's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, did you guys know that Dave um has published this book and like is like a really prominent podcasting figure, and like it's such an uncomfortable thing to have to, because it has nothing to do with why I'm there, and you have to be like, oh yeah, it's just something I do in my free time, because you can't, because it's like, what am I supposed to say? That's not me. Like obviously it's me, but it's like I don't want to talk about it. There's a
That's a
reason I haven't
weird
brought it
thing
up.
though, because it's like, it's hard. Like, are you bringing that up because you think it's cool and interesting, and maybe you share similar interests? Are you bringing that up to diminish me or to make fun of me in some way? Is that your intent? You know what I mean? Like, it's really difficult to
It,
know.
yeah, that's the what is the what's the kind of not the intention, but like why is this happen? Because if
Yeah.
like you said, if it's like earned proximity or intimacy,
Mm,
you know, it's because they're interested in your life and who you are and what you do. And oh, that's great. I'm really happy for you.
yeah.
Versus like, it feels like putting me on the spot in front of the entire company to talk about this thing that I clearly don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
You
Why would
know,
you bring it up in that
I
setting?
don't
It
know.
has to be. I mean, you don't want to assume
My
to
assumption
know.
is that they would, knowing this person, I think they were just that tone deaf that it wouldn't have occurred to them
Okay.
that it was a problem.
Yeah.
I think it was just that thing of like, they have so little self-awareness that their awareness of others is even less. And so it's just like one of those things where if they thought about it for 5 minutes and had good emotional intelligence, it wouldn't happen.
Right. They almost were unaware that what they were doing was
Which could be an
really
issue
like,
or could make me uncomfortable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I make other people uncomfortable too. Because other people, they're not here to fucking talk about it. They're here for this meeting.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, and now you're opening me up for like, weird responses. Yeah. Oh, hey guys, did you know that David actually does he like writes and does podcasts and stuff? And then you don't want someone to come back and goes, who the fuck is David? You know what I mean? You're like, oh,
Yeah.
right, well.
I'd be like, I fucking hate
Or
podcasts.
or anything I've heard of? I don't know, dude. I didn't bring it up.
I didn't. That. Oh my. Okay.
Anything I
One of
would
the
have
most.
heard of? No idea,
Oh,
dude. Do you listen to podcasts?
I don't
I don't
know your
fucking know.
interests. I've known you for 5 minutes. I don't know. So,
Wild.
oh yeah. Oh, you're a published author. Just would I've heard of it? I don't know.
Yeah, I got no idea. I don't know what circles you roll in, dude. I
I
don't know what you
don't.
read.
See, and then you have to be this like flaccid defensive, like, oh yeah, if you're, oh, I don't know, but like probably if you're into like sci-fi and like steampunk and stuff, it probably appeal to you. But it's like I don't fucking know. And on the rare
See, my
occasion,
go-to is just sort of like, yeah, I'm like, almost self-deprecating. You just go, oh, definitely not. Oh, anything I've heard of? Definitely not.
oh, see, that's it. But my problem is, I have recently in the last like year and a half have had they go, you're the man on trig guy, and that's fine because then they're like, oh yeah, like either they've heard of it, but like before I had some like moderate success in selling that material, it was definitely I don't want to presume
Right, but
because like
there's no instance in which that comes off you them you
that's true.
because
Yeah,
now you're just sort of like, it's this masturbatory weird thing where like now all of a sudden I'm selling myself to this person. It's so much simpler and easier that, someone's like, oh, blah, blah, does that, oh, anything I know, anything you go, definitely not. You know what I mean? And then
that makes
because
way more sense.
if they
Yeah.
do, then whatever. If they don't, it's whatever. But at the same time, you don't look like some fucking egomaniac
Well,
douchebag. You're just some,
no,
sort of brushing it
yeah,
off.
my thing was like dodging the question entirely. Like
Right.
I'm not even answering the question. I'm just like I'm saying a bunch of platitudes to move away from the prospect that that's even possible.
Right.
But your thing is better. Like the outright dismissal is the move. I think
Yeah. Because you're
I
like,
should
oh,
adopt that.
definitely not. Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
You're too normal for me.
And then if someone else wants to be like, he's being modest or whatever, he does blah, blah, blah. At least that's someone else saying it. And it's not you doing, because there's no interaction in which that comes off great.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Something about using Google to track our personal accomplishments feels squiffy to me, artificial. Like it's being used as a shortcut to building a warm relationship with us. I know she could just use Google. I know she could just Google any of us at any time. What if I was in the news because I was in a terrible accident? Or what if I got divorced or a relative died? Or if I was, say, arrested for protesting in alignment with my political views? I'm
Mhm.
not sure I want her to be notified of incidents that might not be things I choose to share.
Okay.
I guess my question is this weird or is this something that we should all accept in today's digital world? And if I wanted to speak to her to remove the alert for my name, you suggest, how do you suggest I go about scripting that conversation?
I mean, this this person needs a
This
taste of
is,
their own medicine. That's all it is. You
I
start
think
Google
that's
alerting this
completely right.
person, right? And now we take it a step further, right? And we're gonna go,
Family,
um,
friends.
sure, we could widen the net. Yeah, that's definitely
We're
one way to
Google
go, man.
alerting everyone they know.
Oh, yeah. So it's like, oh, guys, you'll never guess. Margaret's sister, on the weekend, her husband died.
James, you couldn't do a funny one?
I don't, I'm just reading the Google alert. I don't know. I'm not
You
in charge.
didn't. Yeah,
I'm not in charge of what comes in.
You couldn't do a funny one? I saw your face. You knew that you were in trouble as you were saying it. I saw that. You knew you did a wrong thing.
You know, I'm just reading the alerts that come in. I don't
No,
know.
I'm just reporting the news. I don't make it. Yeah,
Sorry,
I
guys,
get
my
it.
bad. Sorry.
But, sorry,
You
she
know,
died. I guess that's on me.
but I was
Yeah,
saying,
like-
what I mean is like maybe you dive into the Facebook as well, and you start, when people go to clubs or whatever, and the club photographer like takes photos
for sure.
of the people, like being a piss dickhead or whatever.
That's happened to you. I sent you one the other week. That
Exactly.
happens to
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then they post it on
Yeah.
their socials or whatever.
Yeah.
Share those as well. Oh, Margaret was
Oh.
Margaret was at Rick's on Thursday, fucking throwing down to some local band or whatever, and then here's Margaret just
Right.
fucking like giving elbows in the pit. You know what I mean? But we
Right.
just put that
I
image
think-
in Slack.
Put that image in Slack,
Yeah.
and like maybe 2 weeks from now, you get that alert, and it's her with the man that definitely isn't her husband, and it looks a little too intimate. And then a week later, it's them again at a different place, and they're together again.
Okay. I
You
love
know?
where your head's at here.
Yeah.
I love where your
Yeah.
head's at on this, and it's making me rethink my idea. Right?
Okay.
We take what you're doing here, the
Yep.
blackmail, obviously, right?
Oh, it's fully black.
Oh, it's fully blackmail.
Sorry,
yeah.
hang on, just really quick. Are we allowed to say blackmail? They're just hold.
We
They're
can say
conferring.
blackmail.
Our lawyers are conferring. They look
can't say blackmail?
confused by the question. Can we? Like, oh, they're nodding. That's apparently fine.
Did blackmail get removed? Can we not say that anymore?
No, they seem well. Okay, they're clearly frustrated, but they're nodding. Yeah, they've conceded. We can say blackmail. Oh, allegedly. Yeah, he's holding up a piece of paper that says
Okay,
allegedly.
this is a weird.
We can.
Anyway,
It's odd
we're
phrasing.
blackmailing.
We can
That's what we're doing.
allegedly.
We're blackmailing. We're taking David's
Allegedly
idea
doing.
and we're blackmailing people.
We're allegedly blackmailing.
Now, we could just go in there and we could start, posting all of the pictures of her at the bars, or all of the different things that are coming in off the Google alerts. We could post all that into the general
We
Slack
could
channel,
do that. You're not wrong.
or we could compile it all into a folder and we send it to her and say, maybe we could do this anonymously, and maybe we can get everyone off the list. A little anonymous email goes out and it says, you take the Google alert tracking off your team, or we start to Google track you. And then you sort of send the file that has all of the different stuff that you've collected so far that you are going to share on, the internal sort of system.
Okay. I'm concerned about your lack of theater.
Oh, okay, my bad.
What I would do is print out all of that information you've gathered, put it in a manila folder,
Oh,
and I would buy myself a big, long, dark coat. And what
Of
I would do is I
course.
would break into her house,
yes.
wait at midnight. I would be sitting in an armchair at midnight in the dark, and she would come into
Yes,
the
dude.
house. Okay.
Yep.
And she comes into the house. She senses something is wrong. She doesn't know what's wrong.
Yeah.
She's walking into the living room. And as she walks in, she turns on a light, and I say, "Good evening, Melissa." She said, "What are you doing here?" And I say, and I've got a glass of her whiskey in my hand.
Right.
I've poured myself a glass of her.
David,
expensive whiskey.
David, from my team at work. Why have you broken into my house and sitting in my lounge room drinking a glass of whiskey?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Melissa. I take a look at that file on the coffee table, and I sip my whiskey. She
Okay.
opens the file. She said, "Oh my god, this you can't show this to anyone. It proves that I'm cheating on
Okay.
Greg with Andreas. You can't show this to anyone."
Yeah.
And I sip my whiskey meaningfully, and I kind of look at her and I say, "Yeah, well, that's what invasion feels like. And if you want to keep this a secret, you'll keep me and the team out of your alerts." And I sip my whiskey and I put the glass down. And she, "Oh, you can't just to anyone." And I take the folder and I go, "I've got copies. And if you
Right.
send anyone after me, I've got a man who's going to post this on Slack tomorrow. If they don't hear from me in 2 hours, you're in trouble." And then I waltz out of her apartment.
Perfect. Having committed several crimes, her
There's a
knowing who you
few
are,
sort
all
of,
your
yeah,
details, you guys work at the same place. At the very least,
yeah,
she could just approach her work and say, "Hey, David broke into my house last night and he threatened me with a bunch of personal information that he was going to release on me. And he said, obviously, someone else is going to post it on the Slack if he gets arrested. So
yeah.
obviously, look out for whoever posts that and we'll nab them as well." Right? I love the idea, except you've implicated yourself too much. So let's
I
remove
think
you from the equation.
okay,
We do the exact same thing. We keep the manila
yeah.
folder because I love the manila folder
We
idea.
hire a guy.
Love breaking in at midnight. I'm all about that.
Oh, it's so good,
Pig's head.
James.
Pig's
Come
head.
on, that's
On the counter, manila folder with the photos in the pig's mouth. Closed.
but
Written on the outside of the manila folder. Drop the Google tracking. Drop the trackers, you know. And then so she comes home, "Oh my god, pig on the counter," you know, because it's sort of like it's very like mafia threat style
sure.
energy. Could be a horse's head. I'm just saying, you know, that might be more difficult to sort of get. Thinking maybe like a pig head's probably easy to get. I'm just trying to make it easier for you, you know. And then so it's like, you know, this is a threat. And then you know she
Right.
she opens it and goes, "But these are all pictures of me, and this is my information." And drop the tracking. I will do that. You know.
Yeah, look, we're losing the monologue, I feel. And the monologue
Oh,
is the
you want to
heart
keep the
of
monologue? You egotistical maniac! You're
I
gonna
just
get us
think
all done.
no, can we hire a guy? This is what I'm saying. Could we
Oh, we
hire
hire an
a
actor.
guy? Yeah, well,
Okay.
not an actor, but someone that can act on our behalf.
Yeah, like an
We hire
actor.
a person who can break into people's homes and do things that we need, who
Yeah.
will seem threatening, potentially lethally. Not saying that he should threaten your life, but like could have the vibe of someone that could. And maybe we have him do the monologue. You know, you know, you don't know who I am, but I know who
Right.
you are type thing. Like lean into that energy, potentially.
Sure. No, hey, I'm all for, you know, paying local artists and stuff like that, giving a budding actor, you know, a gig, keeping
We're
them.
not hiring a fucking theater kid, James. We're
God
hiring a
damn it.
professional.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But we're supporting local artists.
Sure. Yeah, fine. Fine. We'll get a fucking theater. We'll get a local theater fucking kid. Sure, fine. This is the problem with when you work with other people is sometimes you know the right choice and we should do this and the fit thing. It's like relationships are about compromise. And in this
Okay.
case, I'm willing to compromise.
Thank
Let's
you.
hire a fucking theater kid.
Why doesn't it have to be a
to-
theater kid? I'm just saying we have to. It has to be a local actor. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, well, no actors have not been a fucking theater kid. There's no fucking sexy actors who weren't awkward theater kids. They don't exist. They don't exist. Oh, well, I guess the Hemsworths, but like everyone else, I think. I assume they've always been hot and cool. I don't know.
Yeah,
They give
they
off
do
that
have
vibe.
they do have sex appeal, don't they?
Yeah, they have that like
Yeah.
sort of Byron.
Well, I think that's sort of. I mean, that's
privilege
solved,
vibe.
right? I mean, you'd say that's a solution.
So we solved it from a lot of different angles.
Yeah.
Sometimes advice, James, on this show
A little
is
advice charcuterie, you know, take your pick of solutions.
it's kind of a buffet.
Yeah.
You walk and you pay the entry fee and you walk up and you sort of pick and choose what you fancy on the day in the moment. And I
Yeah.
think in this case,
We
every
we
single
tailor it to, you know, different price
Two
points,
tastes.
you know.
Oh, all the things.
Yeah,
But in this case, everything on the menu, 10 out of 10, delish.
nailed it.
Kind of a slam dunk of an
Yeah.
episode, I think.
And real quick, I don't know what this is, but this is a voicemail that we received. Should I play it for you?
Yeah, I've got time.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
go
don't
ahead, man.
remember what this says. I'm just saying that before I press it. I don't
He's
remember what
done
it
an
says.
AI. He's done an
No, I
AI.
have.
Go on.
I'm just saying. This is
Oh,
another
okay.
message we received on the voice line. You know,
I
on
believe you.
the call through
I don't
hotline.
believe you, but go on.
I am Patrick Bateman. Every morning I awake at 6:15 a.m. and have a cortado coffee, oat milk only, on the balcony of my 11th floor apartment in the American Gardens building on West 81st Street.
Okay.
I open Spotify and listen to my favorite podcast,
Oh.
The Advisory. I see a lot of myself in this David character,
Oh.
his unquenchable bloodlust, the obvious sexual gratification he receives from belittling and exerting his power over others. He's like a younger, more insane version of me.
Wow. Thank you so much for that call through. They didn't leave a name, or they said Patrick Bateman right at the beginning. Thank you so much, Patrick. I don't know if that was really a question or sort of just a
It wasn't
commentary.
really a question. It was
Just a
sort of
commentary on the show. Thank you so much.
instead of an indictment. It was a review, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
James
thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling in, Patrick. And again, if anyone else would like to, do a call through, send a voice note on the old DMs.
Call through. Yeah.
Send
Send it
get
to
a
us.
get a call through on this hotline.
Get a call through on this.
This is a
program.
live call through podcast.
It's a live. Well, it's always live. I think I don't really understand how podcasts work. Yeah, that's probably for the best. You can follow us on YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. Nope, that's not right. You can follow us on YouTube to watch the VODs of the video if you're an audio listener, youtube.com/@Black Swan Society, or simply search Black Swan Society on YouTube. You'll find us. You can find us on TikTok at BLK Swan Society on TikTok. You can DM us your audio messages, questions, advice, concerns, Instagram at BLK Swan Society. And of course, you can join the conversation live, twitch.tv/Black Swan Society. That's twitch.tv/Black Swan Society, 6 p.m. AEST every Thursday night. We do this live. You can jump in, you can leave comments, you can get frustrated with me about all the things I do that piss James off as well and give him a sense of solidarity for putting up with me for so fucking long. Twitch.tv/Black Swan Society. And of course, you can email us your voicemails, blackswansociety.mail@gmail.com. That is blackswansociety.mail@gmail.com. All of those links, of course, are in the show notes. We appreciate the heck out of you getting in touch with us. Follow us on socials. Keep up to date with what we're doing at the society. Join the society or be left behind. And of course, wherever you find this, it's easy enough. In-app, lift up your phone. I know you're listening to this while you're pooping, while you're running, while you're working, wherever it is that you are listening to this on your mobile device. Pick up your phone and leave us a rating or a review in your app of choice. Just do it in-app. It's super easy. And if you give us a 5-star review on Apple iTunes podcasts and you tell me a funny person, a funny voice, I am contractually obligated to do that review in that voice, just so that you're aware. So we appreciate it. It helps more people find the show. And also it embarrasses me, which far outweighs the kind of impact of the 5-star review. It makes me look like a fool, which we all know.
I wouldn't say that at all. I'd say it provides you with, sure, people can, leave a review with some kind of silly person and, silly thing to say to embarrass you if they want. But I really think people should look at this as an opportunity to grow David's impression repertoire. And I think, really have fun with it. Have fun with what you want him to say. Choose really out there characters, Don't just go with your Keanu's and, your Jeffrey Rushes and, your people like that. Really give him something to sink his teeth into and to chew on,
For sure. That's a good suggestion that I'm not concerned about.
Yeah.
And just generally speaking, We appreciate the heck out of you watching or listening to the advisory. We are part of Black Swan Society, which is a creative collective where we're trying to do things differently, embracing the void and making weird shit that we want to make. We will be back next week, same bad time, same bad channel, 6 p.m. AST live, twitch.tv/Black Swan Society for another episode of the advisory. We appreciate the heck out of you watching and listening, and we will catch you next time. Goodbye, stay safe, and try not to stalk your coworkers. That's the takeaway today, I think.
Or will more people start doing it now that they know how to?
Shit, do we just give the? Is this like the when you
Yeah.
when you talk about how the bomb is made, it gives them the instruction? Listen,
Yeah.
Here, let me rephrase.
Because at
Thank
some
you so
point
much for watching.
you're sort of you're almost
complicit.
you're contributing to the
Yeah.
problem because now we're educating people about what it is and how they can do it.
Ooh, this is a toughie. What I would say then is thank you so much for watching or listening. All of the mechanisms and levers that exist in social media and the ability to track data and information are inherently harmful, and you should disabuse yourself if they use that, including stalking your coworkers. And we don't endorse any of the behaviors here within seen in the podcast, and we encourage you, as the kids would say, to go touch some fucking grass. No, I mean, like,
Ew, what is that?
they mean
That's
go out.
regressive.
They mean go outside, not like go experience. I'm
For sure.
spiraling.
Let me counterbalance
We need to end
that.
the episode.
I'm going to counterbalance that with keep doing
sure.
you. You know, keep your head up. Keep on keeping on. Life's a garden. Dig it, and you know, sort of forget about all the mean stuff that David just said to you, and sort of just keep doing you. You know. Thanks, guys.
Some Dr. Phil ass advice. We'll see you next week.
It was just, well, it wasn't some doctor. It was like some good advice. We'll see you next week.